Well, I think it's a case this week of waiting patiently or impatiently for the postman to start bringing some goodies so I can start a bit of work on the goods yard. So I think until he arrives with the bits, I'm probably just going to have a look at the incline down to that lower level, see if I can do a bit more work on there. Just laid some caulk along the edge there. It's been weighted down, so it's pretty much dry now. Now, I've got a box full here of Hornby set track. There's about 40 lengths of double straights, brand new, unused. I was thinking about flogging them on eBay, but I think given this isn't scenic, this area, I may just use them to get a nice straight going down. Just saves me having to waste the good old Pico Flexi track. So I think for this part it'll be fine. Bit more progress. I've just got these little 45-degree supports on now, all the way down. I say 45 degrees, they're roughly 45. Too lazy to get the chop saw and set it up out the garage, so I did the 45 cuts by hand with a tenon saw. So they're a little bit wiggly, but it really has strengthened it up now. They've got some 80mm screws going right into the supports. So as I've been laying this Hornby set track, getting ready to test the incline, it just got me thinking, I do know I'm going to have a reversing loop on this helix because they're going to have to come back up the way they went down, and there's nowhere else on the layout I can get any kind of access to join it without that. So my original plan was just to have a single helix going down and then somewhere it looped back and joined back up before it came up again. But I've just got to thinking now as I was laying this, there is enough room to get two tracks on here sets with streamlined spacing. So potentially I could bring a single line in. I've got a Y point I could probably then put in somewhere here. Obviously this will be open so I've got access to it, but then just split it into two so that the reversing loop finishes here as opposed to under the baseboard, so it might give me a bit more room. It is quite close to the edge. Am I running a risk there whether I put a little lip up, but I've got enough track to do that. It might just be easier to have the tracks converging somewhere here as opposed to underneath the baseboard. So maybe a Y point roughly there. I don't know. Is it a good idea having a point on an incline? It's bad enough having the curves on an incline, so maybe this could cause issues. I really don't know. It would have to be manually operated as well because I think I've got a point motor somewhere. I know you can buy rod extenders, but it's probably a bit thick, but there would be access to this because it's not going to be covered in, so I could potentially just do that by hand. So that's a thought. I've just added a makeshift extension onto this incline just to extend the track by about another 4 foot, just so I can get a longer rake on, just to see how they pull. Now I know if there was a helix there, there'd be a curve going under the baseboard, which obviously adds extra stress and strain onto the loco, but this should give me a good idea, hopefully. I know the diesel should be fine. The incline I've got up there under that tunnel is actually a 3% one, and the diesels get up no problem. The steamers are okay with 5 coaches, they struggle a bit with 6. So I'm thinking this one, well, we'll try it and see, eh? Well, I've done a bit of a makeshift wire up. I've just got the class 25 on, it's got 7 coaches on there. I don't for 1 minute think it'll be a problem, this one. Let's see. else going on that one, is there? So I've put one of the Duchess class on, and I've had to take a coach off. So this is 6 coaches from a standing start on the incline as well. 7 coaches it was slipping. But with 6 she manages it okay. There's no wheel slip there. And I suppose what I was thinking is the fiddle yard underneath is storage for the coaches. All my steamers, there's room on that in that loco yard with the engine sheds and the other side and the other sort of lanes for all them to be up there. So if I'm just needing to bring rolling stock up, it'd just be a case of sending one of the diesels down, because they do manage it a lot better to bring up the coaches, put them onto the right line, and then bring a steamer out from the turntable to connect up. So I don't think it'll be an issue. I mean, that's only one quick try. I will continue to test it just to see if there's anything else I think I can do. So with this Hornby set track just been double straights, and I'm doing 2 lanes, I worked out there's going to be at least 8 straights on each lane going down this incline. I didn't fancy the thought of doing 8 sets of droppers on each lane, going through this thick piece of timber. So what I've done, I've just decided to, because it's not on view, it doesn't matter how pretty it is, I've just decided to solder all the joints. It's not pretty, but at least it gives a good connection. As I say, it's out of sight, it's not part of the scenic area, so that'll just save me having to do loads of extra soldering of droppers. I've decided I'm screwing this track down, because I'm sure at some point I may need to get it up. That's just a 5mm thick piece of wood, and I'm just using that to space it perfectly on that edge, and then still using the little track setter straight to make sure it's pretty level. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect this, because it's out of sight, but I just find it easier. I'm sure it will need to come up the track when I find out how to wire in one of these reversing modules. I know Hornby are releasing one, but it's not out yet, but I'm sure there's other ones on the market, and a couple of YouTube searches might show me what to do to install one of those. So I've got some sections of track screwed down now. I'm just testing. I was nervous about that point at the top and where I didn't want the overhang of the coaches or any rolling stock to catch, but they don't. I think with the Y point being shallower, there's no clearance issues there, so that's quite promising. I don't realise how much speed these get up on an incline, so you just got to pray you don't have any uncoupling. I know we always talk about you start one thing and it leads on to something else. Obviously I can't even start do this top bit yet, because I haven't even thought about a reversing loop module, and I can't really put one of them in until I've actually got a loop done, and I can't do a loop till I get the helix. So if one thing leads on to another. If I started working on the goods yard, I just wanted to try and get this point put in here for the line to come out to create the incline down. So I've just been working out the best position for the point, which is going to be there, to get the nicest curve for the track to straighten up and go parallel. So I've just been scraping the ballast out. Point is in towards the incline. I can't believe, but I've got no flexi track left. I was having a look at, I've got some offcuts, trying to put a couple together, but with it being quite a tight bend, it just weren't working. So it's the first time I've not had any flexi track, so I'm going to have to just see where I can get some from, just so I can get this last bit connected up. It'd be easy if that track was in place, so I can work out the fencing. The fencing will probably come down here and then across where this board ends. Well, they say every day is a school day, And I'm really embarrassed to say that after all this time, I've just found out that there's a town about, I don't know, 8 miles from where we are. Never go there because there's no reason to go out that way. But it turns out they have a model railway shop called Mad About Trains. When I've searched online before, it's never come up. So I was pretty gobsmacked when I came across this place. So I popped out this morning like a kid in a sweet shop, because I ain't been inside a railway shop like that for many years, and picked up a couple of pieces of flexible track just so I could get this little bit finished. So I've taken out, there was a Hornby double straight there, and I've put one sweeping piece in to join up with that point. So it is all wired in a makeshift way. Obviously I'm nowhere near ready for the helix or the rest of it, but if nothing else, I've got a couple of nice long storage sidings for the next few weeks till I can move on with it. What I have realised, because this outer line is only screwed in, I don't think it's going to stop me building the rest of this, because I can get one of these little precision screwdrivers under it quite easily, just to take out these when I need to wire in this reversing module later down the line. I've also just started to make a second tunnel just to sit there. Bit of alterations to do at the front, just to get those to marry up and cover the seam with a buttress, but hopefully that will look okay. Well, these lines are all connected up to the main branch line now. I'm just hoping I don't live to regret putting that point in there, but we shall just have to see on that one. Seems to be running okay, so I'll just do a few more tests around that area. With this area here, I know I had some suggestions about making it into a working farm, you know, which was, yeah, I could have done that. I was just conscious that over in that back corner is actually a farm setting as well. So I did decide to go back and think about having this as a derelict area. And while I happened to be looking on eBay, because I talked about those, there was some Scaledale derelict buildings, but they were quite expensive, 25 quid a time. So I'm looking on the old eBay and I came across these. So this here, so four different buildings. I mean, there's too many for that area, but still 4 buildings, and a pack of pigs as well, which can go in the other farm on the back end. So these came up and I was able to get these for 60 quid. So that's all of the 4 buildings and that set of Bachmann pigs for £60. I just thought it was too good to miss, really. I mean, they need toning down, and you know, a lot more grime and everything put on them. And I think that greenery, that home we've put on in that fluorescent green, looks awful, but that can be covered. Be nice to get some growth coming out of these broken roofs as well. So I'll probably use 2 or 3 of the buildings, don't know which ones yet. But I thought it just too good to miss, really, so I just plumped for it. And I did manage to pick up a good shed. It's another Hornby Scaledale one, a resin one. Very reasonable. The only thing was the 2 sliding doors were missing, which was in the listing. I think that's probably why it was cheap. That don't particularly bother me. I can either make some just to put on there, but it will actually be the other way around. If I flip that 180 degrees, it will actually sit somewhere over there when I get it positioned. So quite pleased, getting a few bits now to be able to carry on. Postman's bin again, just a couple more buildings from this Fair Price Models have arrived. I do like them, so I've ordered an industrial building there on the left, and then a small outbuilding to go near it, just so I can create some industry where this siding is at the front. Not sure what it's going to be yet, but now I've got them, I can just mark out the footprint so it'll help me just position them and then start getting on with the surfaces that I need to put down. I'm also going to try and build this laser cut signal box for this upper level where I'm extending it out. That's also arrived. I think that's just about everything now. So it does mean that I can start to do some proper progress on the goods yard now. The track work's in where I need it. I've got all the buildings that I need. So that'll be the plan for the coming week.